Hey Dub, thanks for the raid, man. Right at the start of the stream too. Hey everybody. Just gonna do a little bit of flying around in Growling Sidewinder server until a few more people turn up maybe, or at least until this flight's over, and then I'm gonna quickly go through the video from my dogfight yesterday to figure out what happened. If I can get this Mirage to turn, first of all, it wouldn't turn left, now it won't turn right. It's driving me insane. My nose wheel steering is definitely on. I just cannot get it to register full right rudder. I wonder if there's a keybind just to get this thing off the ground safely. Definitely need some new pedals. Alright, X. Probably not going to work with my pedals plugged in. See what I have to live with these pedals? It's a nightmare. There we go. Some dude sent me a whisper through Twitch. Oh yeah, what did he say? Now comes the other end of the problem, which is turning left. When dogfight you, I'm pretty bad at it, so you should be easy to kill based on today. Oof. Oof. Hey man, as Mover said, the ground has a PK of 1. Alright? The ground is a severely underestimated opponent. Sometimes you don't even realize the ground is involved in the fight. It just makes itself known to you out of nowhere. We'll go over that shortly. Kill is a kill. Yep, exactly. I got careless, I was overconfident, and I badly underestimated just how close to the ground I was, and then that kind of fucked up my initiative. Yeah, I was on him pretty good till then. And to be fair, I was on him pretty good in the second fight too, but I panicked. Again, I'll go over it once I get round to the video. I just gotta figure out which way these guys are flying. I think that's the active end, but it's hard to tell on this server because people just do whatever the fuck. Oh no, okay, we got 2 on final coming down that end there. That's the active end, I guess. Well, fuck me, right? Yeah, no, I know, Dub. That's fine. Hey, on the scale of embarrassing things I've done in front of a large audience, that doesn't even rate, believe me. I can live with that. Hey, CJ. Alright, hang on. Let's see what Max said that guy sent him. The last stream I have watched was really annoying. Instead of explaining Fortnite or why he does what he does, he was only chatting and talking about spamware link. Amazing. Amazing. They're gaining intelligence. If only you were a 14-year-old, that might have actually worked. Yeah, Tawny, I do. Remember the time you couldn't case 1? Oh wait, that's every time. Yeah, to be fair though, the Yak will ground loop with the slightest bit of provocation. I do need to get my throttle fixed so I can get back into IL-2. I'm going to be very rusty when I do. I haven't played it for ages. Get the Tomcat and do one now? Yeah, except we don't have a carrier in here. And I can't fly twin engines because my throttle's stuffed. Once my throttle is fixed, cunt, I will do case 1. Well, no, I won't. I won't do case 1s because I'm shit at them, but I will land on the carrier, alright? Because unlike you, I have not practiced case 1s. I've landed on the boat like 5 times ever, and I've done it at night. Yeah, because you never fucking hear when I do it. I've landed on the carrier heaps. I got a fucking clip of a night trap on the stream. Or on my Twitch. Bruh. I've landed the fucking... Did I land the Tomcat on the Kuznetsov? I know Rudy did. I think... Oh, maybe I didn't that time. I know I landed a 33 on the Stennis. We just spent like an hour or 2 fucking around with the carriers one time. Because we were on, where were we? OCG, I think, and there was just a bunch of fucking spam ram-equipped Hornets going around killing everything before we could get near them. So we just started messing about with the boats. Did some science. Found out that if Kuznetsov is somehow moving at 30 knots due to forces unknown to man, a fully loaded Tomcat will actually clear the ski jump. Oh look, now this fucker's using that. Oh my god, fuck's sake. Whatever. We're down this end. This is the active end as far as I'm concerned. Fuck what everyone else is doing. Okay, there's no one trying to kill me down that end. There's no one trying to kill me up this end. Hopefully we'll be okay. Although there is a hill in the middle of the runway, so I can't actually see the other end properly. Well, that's interesting. That's the ghost contact, though. I think? Or is he just really high? No, it's a ghost. Someone's jamming, as usual. Probably a teammate. Oh, there we go. I don't know what he is. Okay, well I'm gonna just kind of chill out and turn the autopilot on so I can catch up on chat. And hope that nobody shoots me out of the sky. Pom's on here, so my team's probably busy copying and pasting. Actually, I don't even think I really need the autopilot here. What am I looking for? Where's the heading hold? Is there a heading hold? I don't know. That's altitude. Whatever. You know what? We'll roll with that. Fuck it. Bulk Phoenixes, I just got on. This is my first flight. Richard landed a vegan on the Stennis, nice. Oh, Mirage. Damn. Oh, actually, I could see that. The Mirage might not have a hook, but the fucking parachute on this thing is ridiculous. You come in nice and slow, which the Mirage is good at, and then pop that chute, and it will stop you on a dime. Whatever that is that's jamming is probably enemy then. See, I'm kind of tempted to go up to space, but I don't know. At least if I'm in the mountains I can hide, but then I also can't see much. That'll be a ghost. Yeah. See, the thing is, with the flanker and the MiG-29, you can and the MiG-21 as well, you can tell when you're being jammed. Like, you know what's a jamming contact and what's a real contact, because it appears as just a straight line of contacts down the scope. Whereas in this, they're all over the fucking shop. You can't tell what's what until you try and lock it and get nothing back. Who's my pick for the win? Okay, I want Grumpy to win because he deserves it. Grumpy's a really good guy, and he does deserve a win. But going off my instincts, I'd say unless Dylan really fucks something up or he comes in overconfident, which Dylan probably will, at least to the second bit of that, he probably won't fuck anything up. Dylan will probably take that one, Pixie will take his and then get knocked out in the next round. Ace will take his and Stooge will take his. So it'll be Stooge, Pixie, Ace and Dylan, I reckon, through to the semis. Out of them, Pixie, I don't think is going to handle the Tomcat very well, and I don't think he'll be able to beat Dylan. He can beat me now. He's figured out how to beat me, but I don't think he'll beat Dylan, because Dylan doesn't fly like me. Dylan's a lot better with his energy management. He doesn't, like, burn all his fucking speed doing dumb shit like I do. The only problem I think Dylan's going to have is ammunition, and maybe fuel, although depending how Pixie flies, the Hornet might burn first. The Hornet's fuel consumption is way worse than the Mirage in that kind of fight. Dylan has also had an actual bug pilot in his ear for the past couple of days, although Dylan's been ignoring most of what he's been told, so there you go. I think one of the times Dylan was trying to listen, it got him killed by me, so... That's the thing. A lot of stuff that works in real life or makes sense in real life doesn't really work in DCS, and I wish I'd been in their Discord. That's why he wasn't on your Discord, by the way. He was busy talking to Elf. I wish I'd been in on that discussion because it would have been real interesting. Basically, even if the flight models in DCS were 100%, just because of the lack of real-world factors like pilot physiology, which IL-2 is getting, and the need to not overstress the airframe after only 2 hours of flying, that would change the way this game's played. Like, if you had constraints like that, and logistics constraints, you would see the entire meta of this game shift, like, totally. But I don't think we are going to see that anytime soon. Okay, that's friendly. Yeah, nerves come into it as well. Like, nerves come in enormously in a tournament. So after this flight, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to do a talkthrough of my perspective, assuming we can get YouTube to play nice. I don't want to have to set up a desktop capture and do all that shit, so I'm just going to use the Steam browser, but that tends to be a bit problematic in-game. We'll see how we go. If worse comes to worse, I'll just have to bite the bullet and set up an actual desktop capture, but then I'm going to open my browser, and that's like 5 million fucking windows. So yeah. No one to play if they got too hardcore? It depends. Like, at least make it so those are settings you can turn off. There are already people who play with the realism settings turned off. Like, the game caters to them already. There's no need to skip stuff like that when you can just make it an option that you enable or disable or set on the server. Pixie was smacking Dylan the other day on JDF. Ooh, maybe he has learned to fight Dylan. See, what he was doing against me would have worked against me, but not Dylan. So unless he's got two different game plans he's figured out, I don't know. But I think even if he does get past Dylan, it's going to be an issue getting past the Tomcats for him. And the thing is as well, so Pixie's game plan at the moment is forcing a one circle aggressively. And this is what Elf was saying for the Hornet, is you aggressively force the one circle and just go balls to the wall. That's what he was doing against me, and I couldn't really hang with him without either shedding too much airspeed, blacking out, or just not getting the guns on before he could, because he can spray and pray, whereas the Mirage can't. The thing is, and I found this fighting him, if you survive those head-ons long enough to run him out of energy or get above him, he still hasn't learnt to stop trying to force an overshoot. He will still try and stop in front of a Mirage and force you past him, which doesn't work, it gets him killed. He'll do either that or he'll go into a rate fight. Obviously a rate fight's not a bad idea, it's just that you need to really be on top of your speed to get it to work. Which he could against me because my flying is so sloppy, but Dylan has been really working on that stuff, so I don't know, we will see. Yeah, exactly. You gotta get the cat out of the game quick. We're not quite on internal fuel yet, but we're gonna get ready to punch this tank off. 272 for 50 at 5,000. Probably behind a mountain, so we're not going to see him just yet. That's Kataisi over there. We're getting a bit dangerously close to their airfield. 225 for 40. And he's on the deck. Yeah, it was really good having him commentating, and he was really good at it too. He's got a natural talent for that. He was funny as fuck. I really hope he does more commentating for DCS events in the future, because it was excellent having him there. Not just having the perspective, but he has the, like, the charisma for it. Is he not gonna do anything about that? Did I get him? No. And we immediately drop block. Fuck you. Just wasted all 4 missiles on one guy. No big deal. Start TB now. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get out of here quick. I could hang around, I could have tried to conserve my weapons, but you know what, I'd rather just get the fuck out after that. And we got plenty of fuel, so we can actually afford to burn most of the way home if we have to. Tell me if the stream gets choppy, by the way. I've still been having issues with it. I still don't know what's causing it. I might have to reinstall OBS at some point. I would, but half of these guys are carrying 10 AMRAMs, and I want to go through this video anyway. So we're just going to go back to base, rearm, refuel, and go through the video, and then we'll come back. Don't worry, we'll try and guns kill someone. It'll happen. It just won't happen yet. Yep, we'll be doing it as soon as I land, Doom Sniper. It'll be probably a really scuffed one. And the video may refuse to play, but I will make an attempt. Oh, now I'm being locked by my own teammates. Spectacular. AMRAMs don't just shoot from 1 mile. I've tried it, no maneuverability. I'm not worried about the guy firing them from 1 mile. I'm worried about the guy firing them from fucking 5 miles. While it might get him a team kill on his mate that I'm trying to gun, I'd rather not risk it. Not yet. Aside from that, they're all carrying 9Xs too. Man, that's the other thing. Like, logistics in this game would seriously change this server. You'd see no more double racking 120s, and no more fucking 6 120, 6 9X loadouts. And it would be a better game for it. I'll be dead honest. If you like heavily restricted the number of active missiles for both sides, this server would be so much more fun. Like, honestly, Fox 3s can just fuck off. Like, no shit, they can just fuck off. So you talked to Elf, I'm guessing? No, I didn't talk to Elf. I just watched Dylan's VOD from when he was talking to Elf. I haven't actually spoken to Elf yet. But I found it very enlightening in numerous ways. And actually, a lot of what he was saying about, you know, the different factors that DCS doesn't account for or doesn't do well, it kind of feeds into what I've been saying for a while about sim versus real life, and it's also tied in with the issues I had when I first started getting into IL-2, shall we say. Yeah, you were there too. I remember you jumped in towards the end of it. Let's double check where the airfield actually is. This is probably going to give me totally the wrong position. No, maybe not. 4 AMRAMs, 2 AIM-9s, yeah, that's pretty decent. Pom's rolling with Sparrows a lot. Which is actually funny, because a lot of the people in the server don't know how to react to a Fox 1 anymore. Especially on red, they just expect to have AMRAAM shot at them. We're just gonna engage lazy man mode. Need some Russian sensors refresher when you're free? I mean, I'm not the best with them. Like, I have a vague idea of how they work, but I'm definitely not the best with them. I'm not really a tech guy. I don't think I've actually used the Sparrows since they fixed it for the F-15. The Tomcat Sparrows always worked, but that's because Heat Blur did the usual Heat Blur thing and came up with some proprietary hacky workaround that can only be applied to their own modules. Like, don't get me wrong, Heat Blur do some amazing work, but a lot of the way that they integrate stuff is just fucked, and that's why the Viggen is perpetually broken, and why a lot of the shit in the Tomcat still doesn't work properly after nearly, what? Nearly 9 months. Wait, when did it release? March, I think. Yeah. So not 9 months, like 6 and a bit or something. Maths is hard. Okay, that looks like Tbilisi. That is Tbilisi. Or the outskirts of it anyway. And the airport is right there. Probably just going to land at the international airport rather than Vaziani. Save myself the navigational nightmare that is that place. So there we go. With our one measly kill. I don't know who I killed. Oh, Moltar's in here. There's our airport. I just gotta make sure I park somewhere where nobody can hit me. The airport there is much easier to navigate than Vaziani, but it's also, because of that parking area, people tend to try and take off there, and it never ends well. In fact, I should probably do a bit of an inspection on the way past to make sure no one's cratered the runway doing dumb shit. There's one crater on the parking area there by the fire engines. I think that's... oh no, there's one at the end of the taxiway. Someone probably tried to land on it and fucking came up short. There's another one there. And it looks like there might be another small one just on the other side. Oh, and one on the... sorry, two on the approach lighting. Fucking hell. Oh, and someone wiped out the hangar as well. Nice. God bless this server. Really, guy? Well, I've seen some dumb shit on other servers, but this server really takes the biscuit. You haven't lived until you've seen someone in a flanker with smoke pods forming the Russian tricolour, trying to do cobras over the runway, and then inverting himself and dying. Because once you get a flanker in a sad turtle, it won't recover. Especially with the ACS turned off. Is that guy still on the runway? Probably. Oh, looks clear. Do our shit-hot fucking turn onto final. It's how to get rid of a shitload of speed really quickly in the Mirage. Pull the brakes and turn. Yeah, there we go. Now he's out of the way. Just gotta watch my approach speed. Coming in a little fast. By a little fast, I mean a lot fast. There we go. Just hold the nose off for some more braking power. That nose wheel is really sensitive. I didn't even hit the ground that hard with it. Like, you just let the aircraft kind of settle, and it starts squealing at you. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Just double check nose wheel steering's on. Yes, it is. So the Mirage does have a braking chute. I don't have it equipped at the moment because I went with the Eclair pod instead. You kind of want it for the extra flares. But even if you have the chute equipped, it's not standard practice to use it on landing. It's an emergency chute, not a normal landing chute like the Soviet aircraft. It is very effective though. You pop that thing and you're going to stop very quickly. Very, very quickly. So I do tend to use it a lot on Just Dogfight when I'm trying to get on the ground quickly and then back into a new plane. But not on here. Not unless I fuck up and overrun. See, Doom, you're making the critical error of assuming I actually, like, know or care what any of the HUD symbology means, let alone for landing. I just fucking T-lar that shit, dude. Like, if I had to describe my flying style in one, well, it's not really a word, but in one abbreviation, it would be T-lar. For those who are not aware, that is an old, I think, World War II era acronym standing for "That looks about right," which is how most bombing was done up until Vietnam, pretty much. You just kind of stick your fucking thumb in front of the gun sight. Yeah, it looks about the right amount of depression. Dump your bombs and see where they go. That's how I fly in general. Hey, we made it across the taxiway / half-active runway without getting murdered. A couple times I've had flankers attempt to mate with me while I've crossed that. It's kind of weird. So, here's the thing. I think that's supposed to be an out-of-service runway, but it's still got runway markings on it. Everywhere except the overrun down the other end, which has been painted over. There's no crosses down it saying it's out of service. But then again, none of these airports are properly marked, because why the fuck would you mark your airfields in a useful way, right? So there's no hold short lines, there's nothing. It makes things interesting, at least. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the left turn. Are you ready for this, guys? That is as hard as I can turn left without deliberately pulling my rudder out of its rails, my left pedal out of its rails, and digging my right heel in as hard as I can. definitely need some new pedals. Like, I think they're beyond help, to be fair. Might be able to fix my throttle myself, but my pedals are a lost cause at this point. Now, I'm going to go on the theory that the nose wheel isn't an issue, because it hasn't been in the past. I don't want to shut down the aircraft and wait for repair. Yeah, I didn't select approach mode either. Like, I don't even know how to select approach mode. This is the important thing to know. I don't know how to do, like, 90% of what you need to do in the Mirage. I know how to use the guns. I know how to select missiles. I kind of know how to fire the missiles. That's about it. What got me into the Mirage was watching Pom dogfight in it. And so for the first week or two, I flew this thing, and you go back and watch my old highlights and you can see this. I didn't even know how to turn the radar on. I was just using the backup gun sight like Dylan does. So, yeah. Okay, we'll just leave the engine running, because why not? We're going to refuel anyway. Leave the loadout. Still got plenty of fuel, actually. Alright, give me just a moment here. I'm gonna quickly do this so I can make sure I'm not gonna do something dumb and fucking dox myself or whatever when I open this window. Bear with me for a second, guys. Okay, I think we're good. Should be capturing the game window again. Yep, there we go. My camera's pointed down a bit. Aha, there we go. Right. So let's have a look at this. So this is my perspective of the fight, right? Hopefully it's in decent quality. No, it's not. It's in shit quality, because of course it is. The Gunsnake, I don't have an issue with it. I don't know why people do. I really don't have an issue with it. Oh, here we go. We're gonna have issues with YouTube. So right away I'm just going through my usual. The video is kind of chugging a bit. Give me a second while I just fix this. I forgot. Yeah, this is really laggy. I'm gonna drop the quality a bit, it might fix it. I told you it'd be scuffed. So he shoots straight past me, I do my usual going into the vertical, so does he. Now I got enough speed on the way in that I'd be able to go over the top if I needed to, which I do here. So far, so good. And I think actually Mover at this point commented that it looked good to him what I was doing. Now, Grumpy actually lost sight of me, and I think he only regained sight of me as we got very close to the ground, so this whole time he knew I was behind him, but he couldn't see me. Oh my god, that frame rate. Please, YouTube. I just realized the combination of YouTube compression and stream compression probably makes this look like a blur to you guys, but I'll freeze frame it at the important parts anyway. So here, I'm not really doing anything fancy. He's going pretty fast. Here, I thought he was trying to force an overshoot, so I'm just staying with him, popping the brakes as need be. Like, there's nothing complex happening here, right? I'm just trying to keep the nose relatively close to him, and if I can, I want to pull for a shot. Right here, I looked for a pull. I almost got it, but I just didn't quite get the lineup I needed. It was a little off. Why is this such potato quality? Jesus Christ. It says 720p, this looks like 480 at best, but anyway. So I'm pulling around on him. Here I start realizing how slow I'm getting. We're both getting very slow. I think this is about where he actually saw me and realized where I was. You guys can see this, right? Yeah? So he's right here. I'm trying to gain on him here, so I'm letting the speed build up a little bit. I know he's not at his cornering speed, so I'm not really trying too hard to get it myself. I just want to close the range and also avoid getting too far behind him, like in terms of turning. And there, right there, that shit right there, that's where I fucked up. He went under me. What I should have done was roll right. What I actually did, because I misjudged my height and my airspeed, was roll left. This is the kind of stupid mistake you make when you're not paying 100% of your attention, and you never expect it, and suddenly the fight's done. I just was not paying attention to where I was. It was a loss of SA, basically, and I end up doing to myself exactly what I did to Burno, straight into the ground. Like, I've got airspeed, you guys probably can't read that, but right here, 185 knots. The Mirage is controllable, well below 185 knots. The problem is, I'm spearing into the ground. And I just didn't have the time to pull out. Even if I'd been holding the stick limiter override, I wouldn't have had the chance to pull that out. That was, like, as soon as I rolled left, I was dead. There was nothing I could do there that would have saved me. But up until that point, it was looking really good. I was right on Grumpy. All I had to do was just be patient, wait for the shot. So this was just a small fuck up close to the ground. If this had happened at 1,000 feet or even 500 feet, I would have been fine. And then because of this small fuck up, that put me on a back foot, because suddenly, instead of being able to just take things at my leisure, I now have to win the next round. If I don't win the next round, I'm out. So there was all that extra pressure, which I wasn't expecting to have to deal with, because, you know, I didn't expect to fly myself into the ground. So I have fought Grumpy before in the Mirage. We did some kind of practice sessions against each other about, two weeks ago? 1.5 weeks ago. It was just after the second round when we realized we were fighting each other. And I think he got hits on me in 1 or 2 of those fights. Overwhelmingly, I was beating him. So I know I can beat him, but I have to not fuck up. And on this time, he flew better than me. And that's the thing, like, you can be the best pilot in the world, but it's whoever flies best on the day. That's how I beat Burno. He wasn't flying that well. I was flying better. Not great, but better. So I won. And today, well, for me it was today, I wasn't flying my best. Grumpy was flying really well. He made a few mistakes, but nowhere near as bad as mine, and so he came out on top. Like, all the skill in the world doesn't matter if you fuck up, basically. Whoever fights the best on the day goes through, especially because of the tournament format. There's no, there's no playoff rounds between the losers. There's no way to get back in through some, complex buy system or something. If you die, if you die, you're out. That's it. You're gone. See ya. So those small mistakes you really can't afford to make in this kind of format. So you start rolling. It was like, no, yeah. I'm actually impressed how long it took me to register that I wasn't going to make that turn. Could have kept your left turn to stay alive, but would have given you 6 to him. Yeah. What I should have done there was, instead of rolling left, roll right, because then I could have stayed on him, or at least with him. I wouldn't have given him my 6, and I would have not killed myself. I would have been very slow, but I would have not killed myself. But again, these kinds of mistakes low to the ground are really simple to make. I'm normally very confident in the Mirage near the ground. And that's kind of why against Burno, my plan as the fight got lower and lower was to start turning aggressively into him, because I was confident that I would not hit the ground and he might, because, I've seen what Hornets are like near the ground. They don't like it. Oh, here we go. I don't know why it's running like shit. I think it's the same browser. It doesn't like it. So here we go. This time he gets above me. He didn't lose sight of me this time. You can see I'm glancing back and forth at my HUD. I'm trying to watch my airspeed, because I know I've got a bad habit of getting too slow. Here though, Here I start getting the idea that maybe I can bait him into the classic Mirage Tango. I'm very slow, I'm 125 knots at last glance. He's pretty slow as well. Not as slow as I'd like, but he's pretty slow. And so here I go under him, I'm holding the brakes to try and bait him into coming down and playing with me, but he knows what I'm doing. Like, Grumpy has seen this before. He knows not to play with me. So you can see here, he comes in slow and sees me aggressively turning in, and he just says, no fucking way. Kicks his nose down, opposite rudder, and gets the fuck out. Starts building speed. And then, in doing that, he gets above me. So I'm now presented with the problem of being very slow and also beneath him. If he wanted to, he could have done a hard wing over and kind of come back on me, the same way that Dylan tends to and the way that I used to do to Tawny. But I think he kind of wanted to be a bit more cautious in this fight. And so instead he starts trying to kind of extend out a little and come back. And he's not rate fighting because I don't think he was anywhere near corner speed in this entire fight. But he's rate fighting more than if he was just pulling the stick into his lap, so to speak. And he is making some progress on it. You can see we're kind of not head on here, but we're also not really... It's a two-circle fight, and the two circles are displaced from each other quite a bit. Oh my god, this lag. Sorry about the scuffed video quality, guys. So here we go. We're both turning in here, and this is where it starts looking like it's going to turn into a two-circle rate fight. So I'm keeping an eye on him, I'm watching my speed. I'm trying to build it, but I'm not trying to... Like, I'm trying to keep enough turn on that he can't just slot in behind me while I'm extending out. And at the same time, the fight's dragging low, which I was kind of cautious about after my, previous experience with the ground. But at the same time, the lower I get, the less options it gives him. So I'm okay with that for now. We're about 320 knots, 340, trying to hit 360. So at low level, 360 is the magic number for the Mirage. Higher up above 15,000 feet, it's about 320, 325. As you can see, I'm at 375 there. I got up to about 400 somewhere in here. I'm down to like 330 and then up to 400 because my speed management is abysmal. But you can see me glancing back at him to try and figure out if I'm winning or not. And something I should note, Grumpy and I are both very impatient, aggressive people when it comes to, well, basically anything, but especially dogfighting. And so, if I just freeze frame it here, I'm doing 350 knots. Look where he... Hello, turn around please, there we go. Look where he is, he's like back here somewhere. I'm just glancing so quick you can't even really see him, but he's back here somewhere, so he's winning this, or at least he appears to be winning this at the moment. So that's already got me kind of jittery. And then he starts firing. So I see a couple traces coming at me. If you watch his stream, which I was planning on doing, but if this is the kind of shitty video quality we're going to get, I might not. If you watch his stream, his nose is nowhere near me. He does not have lead for that. He's just firing off a couple rounds at a time, tapping off bullets, because he knows I'm going to see them, and he knows it's going to apply pressure. And that's the thing. They worked. They actually worked. I saw rounds coming at me. I wasn't entirely sure how close they were, but it started putting me on edge. I started thinking, shit, I'm not winning the two-circle. Either he's hit corner speed and he's holding it better than me, or I've fucked something else up. So you can see him here, he's kind of got his nose on me, not quite. And every time I see his nose on me, I just start pulling that a little bit tighter. Here that was 423 knots, so I fucked up there. Like every time I look back, I'm either too fast or too slow. So still watching him, he's over here, falling off the corner of the screen, which is, it's about on my lift vector, but maybe a little behind. I almost lost sight of him for a second there, and now he's really aggressively pulling. He's really pulling. And this is actually his mistake. Now there's a couple rounds that are about to cut past me here, but he is pulling so hard here. I'm pulling hard too, I nearly blacked out, but he's pulling so hard here that if you watch his stream, he is at like 100 and something knots. He is so slow right here. All I had to do was just commit to the rate fight and stick with it. But you can see I've gone up, and now I'm getting slow again because I panicked. And now suddenly I find myself almost head-on with him, and I'm really panicking. 190 knots. He's moving in on my tail because he has the airspeed now. I'm desperately trying to get my speed back up. 230, 270. He's still there, but I can see I'm just slightly gaining on him. We're up to about 340 there. Lost him, there he is. 376, I'm too fast. He's this dot right here, so I am slowly kind of reeling him in. But then I notice his nose is on me, and you can see these traces. His nose is on me. Like, I might be winning the rate fight, but he's going to get a quick snapshot as he passes, and so I do kind of a half jink, and that's where I decide, nah, this isn't working. I get psyched out. This is my mistake. I get psyched out, I break out of the 2-circle, I start climbing. I roll over, I'm looking to just rip the nose in and get him as he passes. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to use the speed I had because I knew he was slower than me. I wanted to kind of, as we're coming in like this, I wanted to just pull the nose slightly inside him, wait until we're almost touching and just fire and rake all the way down the length of his aircraft. You know, this kind of thing, I was hoping I'd have time to line it up. And, you know, if we're coming in that close to each other, I wouldn't have to pull much lead, there wouldn't be much deflection involved, it would be almost touching him with my plane. But it didn't work out that way. I'd actually bled more speed than I thought. He pulled up because he saw what I was doing, and so, so like this, he's seen what I'm doing, and I'm pulling in like this, he's just gone nope, and really fucking hauled for all he's worth to get out of that. So I didn't get the chance. He's gone over me. And now we're back into this. So I'm slow, I'm about 180 knots. He's also slow, 170 there. But now I've abandoned the rate fight. I'm not even trying to hit 360. I'm just trying to get head on and wait for a fuck up. I didn't really jink there, but I could see his nose wasn't quite on me. I think this is where he gets me. It's this one or the next pass. Yeah, it's this one. So I'm firing. I see we're kind of nose on. It looks like his nose is a bit high, so I just start firing wildly as we pass. See if I can crank the speed right down. So you can see my traces going... Well, maybe. We'll put the quality back up. It might work. Fucking YouTube compresses this shit so bad. So you can see my traces are actually kind of out in front of him. On the Pipper, but the Pipper was a bit off. I think he actually... They must have been fucking close. That's almost right on him. You can see he puts out a burst that misses me off my right side. I start rolling left to try and get away, but it's not quick enough. Here he comes. He did hit me here. I saw a cannon shell go off on my wing, watching from his perspective. But look how close we are. And then my wing's gone here. I don't realize until here my wing's gone. Oh, okay, no, it was my left. So it might have been desync. See, I thought... I couldn't remember if he'd hit my left or my right, and I thought he might have guillotined my wing. But no. So he shot my left wing off in that head-on, and that was the end of it. So there were a couple of mistakes that I made there, and a couple of ways I could have avoided that. If I had just denied that head-on and jinked instead of trying to double down on a shot I didn't have, I would have survived a bit longer, and I might have been able to string him along until he made a mistake. If I had stuck with the 2-circle, I might have exhausted his energy and just pulled in on him while he was stalling, or I might have floated him into the ground. If, you know, I was a bit more careful after the merge and didn't let him get above me, I might have been able to fall on him like I did the first time round. Or if, say, I was able to make it a bit less obvious what I was trying to bait him into, he might have gone for the Mirage Circle. But it's all a whole lot of, you know, ifs and whens. So then we've got the actual perspective from the stream here. You guys have probably already heard the actual commentary, so I don't think I need to leave that turned on. Fingers crossed this actually doesn't lag as badly as YouTube did. It probably will. So this is me right here. Oh, we're already freezing. That's a good sign. So you can see I'm doing my usual... No, okay, we're going to turn the quality down. I don't know why the Steam browser does this, but it's very annoying. It makes it very hard to try and demonstrate shit. So here we go, we're both going up. And it doesn't want to work. So here you can see what I'm doing. This is kind of similar to how I was fighting Dylan. I think the most recent time we fought in Mirages. He was trying to do the double Immelman thing and I was just coming over the top with him. Although Dylan was committing more, so Dylan was getting really slow and I was just following him all the way up, and at that point it's really easy to force someone into a Mirage Tango. So here you can see he's lost sight of me at this point. He has no idea where I am. He's just diving and looking behind him while I'm coming down on him. And see, I thought he might have been trying to force an overshoot here, so I wasn't getting as close as I could have. I'm not in burner, I'm popping the brakes every now and then to maintain my spacing. And also, I don't want to overshoot here as he starts turning harder. So, brakes out every now and then just to bleed off some speed. I don't want to rely as much on the stick limiter override because that's a good way to black out. And I just prefer to use the brakes for that kind of thing, even though I know it is kind of wasteful. See, if I just let myself get a little closer, if I'd realized he didn't see me, I would have let myself get closer and I could have killed him. But I'm just holding back for a bit. Here, I think, is about where I tried to take the shot. Yeah, there you go. That was a massive miss. Although it looked better on my screen than theirs. DCS desync strikes again. I almost don't need to freeze frame this. It's doing it itself. So you can see here, 197 knots. We're both getting really slow, and I don't really want to be doing that. Oh my god, this frame rate. She's dead, Jim. I don't think this is gonna work. I've been foiled by Twitch. I might just do this for the first fight then, not the second. Okay, we'll see, we'll see. So I think this is about where he started trying to cut under me, somewhere in here. Yeah, he goes between the trees. Grumpy is really good at low-level flying, by the way. VR probably helps with that. So here we go. I see him slowing down and pulling the nose up. I figure this is an overshoot attempt, but I'm not quick enough to react to get the shot on him. I am quick enough to prevent the overshoot, but then here we make the critical mistake. Look where I am. All I have to do is roll away from the ground. And what do? I roll into it. Oh, and it skipped that frame, of course. We'll just try and get the timestamp. This is so scuffed. Next time I'll just set up the fucking browser capture. This is ridiculous. Alright, so here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Right here. This was my decision point. All I had to do was roll right. I rolled left instead, and you can see what happened. By the time I exit the roll, I'm pointed at the ground doing 180 knots. I'm speeding up and smack straight into it. I would have needed at least another 30, 40, maybe 100 feet even to recover that. So yeah, and then like you guys saw what happened in that second fight. Those head-on passes were really close too, like really, really close. Oh, Pom just murdered something. Oh, he's doing air-to-ground stuff. Cool. I'm going to quickly top my fuel off, I think. So we'll get rid of the internal. And then we'll put a new one on. 5,000 IQ solutions. Got rattled after the first, yeah, I did. Oh my god, someone's asking for fucking picture. Are you serious? How are we out of configuration? Is that an empty fucking tank? Are you fucking serious? Oh no, okay, I see. It decided to take it away. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I could have won that if I just, like, not made a series of really bad mistakes, but shit happens, man. Tournament stress gets to you, lack of sleep gets to you, other shit gets to you. It happens. I had my good days and my bad days, and today Grumpy was having a better day than me, and he flew better than me, so I'm glad he got through. He definitely deserves to get through, and I'm glad that he's representing the Mirage, as is Dylan. Okay, now I'm in config. That was weird. Yeah, exactly. I hope they, I hope this tournament becomes a regular fixture, like, you know, every couple months or once a year or something. So, like this tournament specifically, both because it's for a good cause, so that can never be a bad thing, but also because I really want to have another crack at it. Who knows, maybe by then I'll be flying a MiG-23, probably not. It'll probably be another 2 or 3 years before that, but might even do the Viper, but I don't know, I like the Mirage a lot for gunfighting, so I'll probably just keep repping the Angry Triangle. She's a nice bird. There's actually a guy in the Razbam Discord posted earlier today a photo. He's restoring a 2000N, which is the nuclear strike capable two-seater, because he's volunteering at some museum or other. It's very interesting. There's a couple things moved around. So on the N, obviously the radar's different, and all the arming stuff for the nuke is down here, and so the IFF panel here has been moved to where the INS is. The INS is in the back seat. A couple things are reversed between panels. Pretty interesting. But otherwise broadly similar, as you might expect. But yeah, so for those who didn't see my comment in Discord, I was planning a special commemorative skin for the tournament, and I figured if I... Well, I figured especially if I won, but... Big think. Anyway, especially if I won, but even if I made it through to, like, the semis or whatever, I was gonna have it. It was gonna be real impressive, right? It was very ambitious. I was like actually thinking of commissioning an artist for this, since it's beyond my skill level. I was gonna have on the tail, right? I've actually got the skin half made, but I don't want to show you guys what I've got yet because I've still got to finish it. But on the tail, I was gonna move the flag down a bit and take off the 409 squadron emblem, and I was gonna have like a drawing of a splayed-out Tomcat, because I assumed I was going to fight Stooge or Banzai at some point, if I got through. I was going to have a splayed-out Tomcat with the French national personification, Marianne, standing with like 1 foot on top of it, flintlock pistol in one hand, a fly swatter covered in dead hornets in the other. But that's not going to happen this time. We'll save that for next year, maybe, or I might do it for Grumpy's Mirage if he gets through, or Dylan's. Instead, this year, what we're going to do is we're going to have Marianne with a very dejected look on her face and a shovel over her shoulder. And a crumpled up Mirage in the background, maybe. And I had silhouettes of the guys I killed, like, on the sides of the intakes. It still looks pretty slick, I've just got to finish it. The tail art's the part that's going to take ages. Let's see if we get flattened on the runway by a friendly today. We're getting locked on the runway. That's certainly fun.
Hey, wanna dance? We should, you know, get out there.
Yeah, shit happens. Oh well, it was a learning experience. Number 1 lesson, never forget that the ground is also your enemy. Number 2 lesson, don't get fucking psyched out so easily. Like, that's the thing. Those rounds coming past me actually did work. And he actually says in his video, I know these aren't going to hit, they're just to scare him. And fuck me, they did. But hey, it was my first tournament, and I didn't even expect to get past the first round, so here we are. Knocked out one of the favourites. And then, I might have got knocked out, but at least it was by somebody that I'm happy to have been knocked out by. Grumpy's a good guy. Tawny got kind of unlucky anyway, drawing against Burno. That and he'd kind of been practicing to fight the wrong plane. Although, I will say, fucking... what was it? There was... what was it I was watching the other day? I was watching Tawny fight the other day, I think. It was when we were doing BFM and I was just spectating him. And I think some of the practice against the Mirage actually did help against other Hornets, just after he got knocked out already. Okay, it looks safe. It looks safe. Fingers crossed. What happened when he hit the ground? I died. My ass went through my head, and that was the end of it. It was just basically a loss of situational awareness, pretty much. I thought I was higher up and faster than I was. Instead of rolling right away from the ground, I tucked under left. If I'd had a bit more height, that would have been fine, but I didn't have the height, and I was not fine. It's like the simplest, dumbest mistake. But hey, that's what makes a difference in this shit. Especially when you get low and slow, the slightest fuck up, doesn't matter how minor, will get you killed. How many AIM-54s can the triangle hang on it? You could probably actually maybe cram one where the belly tank goes. Maybe. Oh, actually, maybe not. I don't know if it'd clear the ground on takeoff. Still haven't got song requests on Nuts. Nice try, though. Oh, look at that. Someone's jamming again. Who would have guessed? That's probably a friendly out there. Yeah, it was fun, and it was a good challenge. And I, like, the second fight especially... Man, after that second fight, I was shaking so hard from the adrenaline. That was absolutely wild. That came down to the wire. In fact, you know what? I reckon probably Grumpy had the same thing going on today. He was probably so hopped up on adrenaline afterwards he couldn't sit still. Because this is the thing, right? I didn't stream it. Grumpy did. We did do some practice fights against each other just after the second round when we knew we were fighting each other. And it didn't go that well for him, and I think that psyched him out really badly. So, for him to bounce back like he did today, that was really, really good. He played more patiently, he made better decisions, and he won because of it. How did Dylan go? Dylan fucking spanked the guy he was against. Fucking old mate didn't even get a look in. So Dylan and Grumpy are up against each other next. This is the thing that all of us Mirage drivers really didn't want to happen. We didn't want to be fighting other Mirages because we knew it would turn into this. Like, your absolute worst case scenario in a Mirage is another Mirage. Because they know all your tricks, right? That's that friendly, I think. It's got his jammer on. How about fucking Ace's fight, though? Ace's fight was just... I think he was against Skits. Skits got fucked, man. That was brutal. fucking right out of the merge, just rips the Tomcat's nose up and murders him. See, that's part of the reason why when I was fighting Burno and I saw him diving for the deck, I followed. I didn't stay above him, I fucking went down with him. I didn't want him to get above me or below me. You don't want vertical separation like that, especially against a fucking Tomcat, holy hell. Because the Tomcat will just pull its nose up, stand on its tail, and accelerate up towards you. And gun you on the way up. So, who's in the final? Well, I mean, we got what, semi-finals, quarterfinals coming up next. Yeah, quarterfinals. Okay, so out of the fights that are in the quarterfinals, this is my picks. I would like to see Grumpy get through, but I suspect Dylan will. It really depends, right? Like, if Dylan gets really overconfident or he fucks something up, he could lose it, but I think probably out of the two, Dylan's got more PvP experience, and that's kind of going to reflect in the way they fight, I think. Dylan's also a bit better with his energy management, so I think that's going to work against Grumpy a lot, but with that said, who knows, Grumpy might pull some Sisu out of somewhere and show everyone what fins are made of. So out of that fight, probably Dylan, although, look, I'm torn. I don't want to support one side or the other too much because they're both really great guys and really good pilots. Who else we got? Ace, I think, will win out of his fight, because Ace is pretty fucking dangerous, especially in the Tomcat. Stooge will win out of his fight, I reckon. See, Bunzai's good, but I think Ace might just have the edge. It's going to be Tomcat on Tomcat, so it could go either way. But I'm just going to go on Ace instinctively. I have fought him a couple times. I don't believe I fought Bunzai before. And then, what's the other fight? Pixie against, I forget who already. See, I don't know, I think Pixie's going to run into trouble against the Tomcats. He may run into trouble against Dylan when they end up fighting, so... Pixie might get through the next round. Actually, I'm trying to remember who he is fighting. I think my prediction was that he would get through the next round, but then he'd bomb out the one after. Or was that... I have that backwards. Fucking, who knows, who cares. Pixie knows how to beat me now. Like, Pixie's worked me out. He was giving me an absolute fucking wrecking yesterday. But what works on me doesn't necessarily work on Dylan. And what works on Mirages certainly doesn't necessarily work on Tomcats, so... The other thing is as well, he's very reliant on forcing a head-on and just hosing at you. If you can stay alive long enough to either run him out of ammo or just get behind him, once you're behind him, he still has the same problem where he thinks he can make you overshoot. And against a Mirage, no, that's not going to happen. Forget it. What was that call? Fuck you, Chevy 2-1. I wasn't paying attention. I need to hear that again. 210 for 50, and I think there was another close in. No, you see, Nuts, I put that song on other people's streams. That's how I roll. I don't shit on my own door. That's some fucking rookie shit right there. That song is a work of art, but it's a work of art best appreciated by proxy through somebody else. Like, you appreciate their experience of that song. You gotta, like, distance that shit. It's like some fucking avant-garde shit, trust me. Alright, who we got? This guy's in air... Oh, fuck, they're all in air starts? Or 1v1? We got one in harms. Fuck knows why he'd be doing that. We got... Old mate here is... He's in a 1v1 Hornet. We'll go 1v1... Wrong slot. 1v1 Mirage. He's probably going to use missiles, but whatever. Oh, Captain Blondebeard's in here. Right, O'Neill, where are you, my son? It's probably fucking landed somewhere. Oh, he crashed. Is he gonna respawn? No, he disconnected. Good shit. And the ping kick is working again. God damn it. The other servers are probably both empty. Yep. Might just go back on Growling Sidewinder server. Let's double check these are actually empty. Yeah. Alright. So we're 1 and 0 on here so far. Oh, going back to the rate fight thing. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have changed tactics in the middle of a tournament. That's a bad idea no matter how you slice it. But at the same time, I didn't really want to get too... I don't know, just something nagging in the back of my mind said don't let yourself get too slow. Don't do your usual thing. But yeah, I think you're right. I probably should have just done my usual fucking knuckle dragger, put the lift vector on him and pull until you black out shit. I probably would have been better off. But yeah, like you said, you live and you learn, so... Oh well. I'll be definitely very interested in watching the other guys fight. Get rid of these fucking wheel chocks. Still don't know how to do a quick line, so we're gonna have to sit and wait. That's okay, we can chat shit while we do it. Get the Eclair on there. And a bag, even though I'm probably not going to use that much fuel. Someone's still calling for picture, what a genius. Oh, we're out of config. Okay, that should be just about everything, I think. Except parking brake, obviously. Got a shovel in the jet. Well, here's the good thing about the Viper, right? That big air intake under it, the chin inlet, that'd be perfect for trench digging. Like, I wouldn't need a shovel, I could just scoop the jet along the ground. It'd be brilliant. Thinking ahead for next year's tournament. 4 weeks ago when I first saw you fight, did more lag pursuit, I think? Yeah, probably. Like, I have been changing my techniques slightly with time, but yeah, today was a big change, and it was not really the right change, I think. And it was actually interesting, so, the reason, for those guys that weren't here before when I said it, the reason why Dylan wasn't in Discord the other day is because he was in his Discord talking to an actual bug driver who was coaching him, basically. And it was interesting because he basically contradicted Mover's position, which is, you know, he was all about, why are you fucking this up? You need to be two-circling, you need to capture the corner speed. He actually didn't have the right corner speed, but that's alright. There's 2 for the Mirage. 1 for high level, 1 for low. You know, you need to capture 325, you need to hold it. What are you doing? Why aren't you just holding your corner? Just outrate him. And then on the other hand, Mover's like, yeah, I just pull on the tail and see what happens, which is basically what I do, except I take that to the extreme of, I pull and see what happens. I pull until there is no airspeed left. Right, let's get rid of all this shit on the map. We got the standard red mountain wheel going here, where they all just go out here and circle around blasting missiles off in turn. Got one J11 just out here doing his own thing. I'm kind of surprised. There's, I'm pretty sure there's linebackers hiding in the mountains somewhere around here to protect Batumi, because every time I go down here I get shot down, so... Don't know if he just juked him or if he didn't go far enough, but he's out in bat country, that's for sure. And judging by his throttle setting, I'm gonna guess that he's nearly out of fuel. 5,000 IQ moves here. Wait, no, he's air starting. He's air starting. Oh shit. How do you even kill the engines on a flanker? What the fuck did he do? Did he accidentally hit his fucking ignition switches and turn them off? Or cut the, hit the idle cutoff, rather? I don't think the FC3 aircraft model compressor stalls. And I'm pretty sure they don't model, what in God's name is going on here? Okay, so maybe he's out of fuel and he's trying to restart the engines on nothing. I don't know. He's dead as fuck. Oh, splat. Never drop the wheels if you're going to land off a runway. Never. If you're on grass, keep the wheels up. Growling Sidewinders? Yep. Oh, Jeff, if you go back and watch, like, my old VODs, they aren't on Twitch anymore, but, like, on YouTube, from when I first started fighting in the Mirage against Tawny, it's like some fucking caveman shit compared to what I do now. And likewise, Tawny is doing some fucking caveman shit. Like, we've evolved so much in a couple months. Still not quite to the level where we can reliably beat people that have been doing this for, like, you know, a couple of years, but we're getting pretty decent, I'd say. The thing is with DCS, right, outside of a tournament environment, look at all these fucking missiles. Outside of a tournament environment, you don't need to be super good, you just need to be better than average. Like, the average DCS player is so trash at anything close range, especially if it comes down to guns, that you can basically win by just not flying into the ground. Like, so many of these guys, if it comes to a guns fight, they'll panic, they'll fly into the ground, they'll stall themselves, they'll rip their wings off trying to do a Cobra because they're an idiot and they think they can do one at Mark 1. Like, there's just so many different things that they do. If you have, like, and this is the other thing as well, you'll notice a lot of fights do tend to devolve into the old World War I standby of just endless two-circle. Just endless. Because they're both in a similar enough aircraft, neither of them know their corner speed. So they're both just, like, really drunkenly two-circling around each other, and occasionally one will pull a bit hard, and then the other one will relax out, so it just kind of, like, migrates around the map without them actually closing on each other. So, like, if you have even the most basic knowledge of what you're doing, you're already doing better than most DCS players. And if, like, for instance, you fly something like the Mirage, which is very unpredictable, and you can do dumb shit like we do, where you just throw the brakes out, cut the throttle, and pull the nose up, suddenly going 70 knots and kind of spiraling in above someone. People don't know how to react to that. They see that, and instead of thinking, shit, how do I counter this? Their first thought is, shit, that's a UFO. That flight model isn't real. Like, people in DCS spend so much time bitching about flight models, particularly for the Mirage. Like, at least with the Eagle, it's kind of justified. But they spend so long bitching about the Mirage, they never actually learn how to fight it. And there are problems with the Mirage's flight model. Everything in DCS has small issues with its flight model. Some have big issues, like the F-15 and the Flanker. But, you know, the issues with the Mirage's flight model aren't enough to make it a UFO. They add up to make it do some weird shit at low altitude, but generally, especially higher up, it behaves pretty much like it should. Put it this way, it's close enough the French haven't complained about the flight model yet, they've complained about the systems. So it's obviously low priority for them. Alright, we've been able to fly for a while here, so we're just gonna set that up, get rid of the parking brake. And now this is going to be real interesting, because I've got to hang a fucking 80-degree corner with no working rudder. Look at this. It doesn't go all the way into the right now. First it's the left, now it's the right. Remember when you first got the Mirage and I could keep up? Hey man, just practice more. You'll be able to catch up to me. I haven't got that much of a head start, to be fair. Went 9-3 on JDF earlier, starting to get okay again. Nice. The big problem I have with JDF is often when I get on there, people just start teaming up on me. They do it to Pom as well. I don't know if it's just because, you know, if you kill anyone enough times, they get sick of it and switch teams, or not switch teams, but, you know, start ganging up, or if it's because they have a specific list of people to team up on, which I'm beginning to suspect they do. But it does get annoying. Like, here's the thing. Fights don't happen in a vacuum. Like, you're never gonna get a dead level head-on merge at fucking 450 knots, 15,000 feet, neither aircraft fully set up. Like, it's not going to happen. And with no missiles too, that's not going to happen. So you need to be able to fight in a more kind of organic environment, which is why when I am on Just Dogfight, unless I'm in a 1v1 slot, I won't respawn after I get the kill. I'll just keep flying until someone shoots me down, because you need to be ready for that. But you need to bear things in mind as well. Like, for instance, when you see someone extending out away from you, Eagles, Flankers, Fulcrums, and Tomcats are especially bad offenders for this. When they start extending way out in front of you, you can just think, right, if this was a real fight, I would have a missile, it would be up his tailpipe by now. Like, there's a lot of stuff people get into the habit of doing because they play on Just Dogfight in the guns arena, which would get you killed in a real fight. And likewise, there's a lot of stuff we were doing in the tournament that would get you killed in a real fight. It's just the way things go. So, I mean, it's useful to practice the gunfighting skills, but you've got to remember that you're practicing in a very artificial setup. Even on Just Dogfight, in the swirling mess that is the guns arena, you're still practicing in an artificial environment. You know, the best way to get better at gunfighting for real is to come on here, ditch all your missiles, and start engaging people. You're gonna die a lot of them, but, you know, you might get a better idea of how that plays out. I think that is how a lot of people use Growling Sidewinder to server. I think they do use it as kind of a training ground. That's what I'm doing. I'm using it to teach me how to use a radar and missiles. And I'm doing very poorly at it, but, you know, for all the supposed complexity of this mission file, and all the time and effort that's Growling Sidewinder went to set it up, you know, consulting an aggressor pilot and everything to try and make it like Red Flag, people just airquake the shit out of this server. But, you know, why not? Just Dogfight does have a missiles area, but it's not the best, so I prefer to just do it here. And it's still not really a truly organic fight on Just Dogfight, even in the missiles area. It's better to come on here and do it. Devolve from missile practice to minus fun? Yeah, that's true. Especially for like Pom, who just goes around with sparrows now trying to embarrass people. Which I can admire. Like, I can get behind that. Okay, I don't see anyone trying to kill me that way. I don't see anyone trying to kill me that way. We should be okay. Fingers crossed. What? I swear I saw 25 nails. What the fuck? What the fuck? Don't get much challenge here. It's pretty easy to avoid someone until they Winchester. Yeah, see, I'm a caveman when it comes to BBR, so this is good practice for me because I'm so bad. Like, by default, anything's good practice for me. Why are my lights still on? Let's chill out up here, I think. Yeah, boy. Probably just double check everything's actually on. Space Cadet. $275 for 80. I'll probably just kind of box out and then come back in. Get some mileage out of this belly tank. And also maybe hook in from an angle they don't expect as much. Oh, they see me. That is a mess of 18s. Look at that shit. No, two 18s and a 15 all on top of each other, it looks like. I think there might be another... three 18s and a 15. Jesus Christ. Well, I probably don't want to run into that. I think that's enemy. We're gonna leave him in TWS at the moment. Looks like he's got a second guy backing him. That's the group of 18s. Oh, fuck me, they're all there. Right. We're going to make an executive decision not to play with them. We're going to go for the deck and try and slip around them. We'll get ready to ditch this tank too. So they're over that way. That's one of them conning, I think. Hopefully the stream's not too stuttery today. Fucking 99 problems. I think I'm gonna have to reinstall OBS maybe. I honestly don't know what's causing it to stutter. Like, my PC isn't really under any more load than it usually is. Nothing is really standing out as a possible cause, so I think it might just be time to reinstall OBS and see what happens. Hopefully I've got all my savings like backed up somewhere. I think I do. To double check. Because if I manage to break the setup I'm using for OBS, it might be a week or two before I'm back on. While I try and remember how I set everything up. I think that's my closest. 279 for 3-5. We're gonna ditch the belly tank. Yeet! $272 for 27 at 2,000. Man, he's low. Wonder what this is. I really hate how it fires the fucking magic and the 530 off the same wing, and I didn't have time to switch it to the other pylon. You dead? We're out of here. Fuck yeah, boys. 2 of them. I got another 265 for 3. Ah, fuck. Didn't have time to go in for guns. He's right on top of me. Ah, I'll take it. 2 for 1. Hornet, Shaq Fu. Might have to come have my revenge. That went a lot better than I expected. Getting into that mess of planes. I honestly thought I might get one, maybe. We got 2. If we had more missiles, they would have been in deep shit. But, you know, I'm in a Mirage, so I don't have more missiles, so there's no point. side of this ridge. Ooh. Just cleared the trees. Can't see these guys, but they must be close, unfortunately. And there go the Reaper rolls. So we've got one down there, you can see the flares. That's a splash. It's still flying. I don't know where the second guy went. Might have pushed him to the mountain steeper. Oh! Rip. I think the second one probably snuck around him while he was distracted. So what do we got out there? Nothing at the moment. Nothing at all. Well, that's great. So we're probably going to run into half of blue. Okay, we are good to go. Get rid of the lights. Don't want them on. So you have to push the rudder pedal past a certain point before the nose wheel steering engages high gain. But with my rudder pedals, that's very difficult and very inconsistent. So taxiing this thing is a nightmare at the moment. Which is part of the reason I prefer the differential braking on the MiG-21. It might be caveman technology, but you know what? It fucking works. And it works regardless of how broken my pedals are. Plus, you can actually get a really surprisingly good turn radius out of it. I believe the MiG-23 actually has nose wheel steering. I think that was where the Soviets introduced it. I could be wrong. So, might just have to get used to it. So we're 2 for 1. Is Pom still in here? Probably not. He's probably be in bed or something by now. Is he taking off or is he trying to land without wheels? Who knows? Don't know where that Tomcat went. By the way, guys, it was awesome to go back and watch the VOD and see all the angry triangles in chat. So thanks for all being there to watch. Watch me fuck up and crash into the ground, but it was a good experience. And I think next BFM tournament like that, I will definitely be entering as well. It's good fun. Okay, what am I forgetting? I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting to do here. Whatever. We're good enough.
Ghost contact or what? It might be. Should have picked him up by now otherwise.
head out this way a little further. Let's keep going this way for a bit. So what I'm trying to do is kind of not fly directly into them, but kind of box around, and also it means I've got some sort of cover going on over our EWR. These guys have got like this whole area tied down, so I'm just going to yeet myself out here and then come back in. And hopefully whatever they're engaging will be so busy dealing with them that they won't notice me slipping in. I am kind of high for that. They're going to see me on the way out, but probably once I get onto my internal fuel, I'm going to drop low into the hills. Or when I get within 50 miles of something, whichever comes first. So today's stream is probably going to be relatively short. Normally I try and stream for like at least 3.5–4 hours, but I'm really tired because I only got a couple hours sleep before the tournament and I've been awake since then, so that's awake since 11 PM last night for me. Sleep time? Yeah, it will be for me too pretty soon, Jeff. Catch you later. Sleep well, man. Oh, hello. Someone's taken an interest. 268 for 45. I got a couple things coming my way. Shit. I fucked up. I fucked up big time. Shit. I fucked up even bigger. Guess who forgot to turn the jettison switch off? I just punched both of my fucking 530s instead of firing one. I would have died anyway, but... RIP. 9x. Let's see if anyone's on Just Dogfight. I can't really be bothered waiting for the INS again, so we're just gonna see if we can get a couple quick dogfights in before I head off. If not, then I might call it there. Probably, yeah, there's nobody in those two servers. It's only the one I can't play in. Well, in that case, I might call it for the evening, or the afternoon for me. I'll avenge you. See, I'm torn. I want Grumpy to get through, but I want you to get through as well. I'm going to have to just sit and watch that one with bated breath, because that's going to be a really interesting fight, I think. But either way, one of you two is going to get through, and one of you two will probably go pretty fucking far and take it out. So, as long as one of us gets it, as long as somebody in Triangle Gang gets it, I'm happy. But let's see who else is on that I can send you guys to. Give me a minute here. We're just gonna go to this because I don't have to open my browser again, because it will probably kill my PC. Let's have a look. I think I might send you guys to Warhawk. I could send you to Maverick, but I don't think Maverick needs any help at the moment for views, so we'll go over and say hi to Warhawk, I think. There we go, that should be set up. Hopefully. Unless I've broken something again, as usual. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Bit of mixed success, and that review of the video could have gone better. I guess next time I'll just set up a proper actual screen capture for it, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk through some of what happened and what was going through my head, but pretty much at the end of the day it came down to me making a series of really dumb mistakes. If I hadn't made those mistakes, maybe I would have won, but what's done's done, doesn't really matter either way. So enjoy Warhawk, and I will catch you guys at some point tomorrow, probably in the chat while the next rounds are going on for Fight of Honor, or later on in the day when I'm streaming. Catch you guys later.